Hello friends, once again welcome you all into the next video lecture of environmental studies. Friends, in previous 4 to 5 lectures we are going to study the topic number 2 of our syllabus, and the name of topic is nothing but energy resources. In our previous lecture we are going to understand the different types of natural resources, or the classification of natural resources on two different bases. Out of that first classification, which will already we will going to learn, and that classification is nothing but six different types of natural resources. Later on that, in our previous lecture we are going to understand that the classification of natural resources as a renewable resources, as a non-renewable resources, and as a cyclic resources. Along with that, in our today's video lecture we are going to learn this classification or energy resources in detail in different way. Friends, these energy resources is again classified into two different types. One is conventional energy resources and another is non-conventional energy resources. These are again classified on the different basis and on the different types. All these types we are going to learn in this video lecture in detail. All these uh, theory part we will going to learn by using PowerPoint presentation. So let us start our today's video lecture with PowerPoint presentation. नमस्कार विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, मी प्राध्यापक एन एफ जाधव पुन्हा एकदा तुमच्या सर्वांचं व्हिडिओ लेक्चरमध्ये स्वागत करतो. मागच्या 2 ते 3 व्हिडिओ लेक्चरपासून आपण आपल्या सेकंड टॉपिकला सुरुवात केली होती आणि त्या पुढचा काही भाग आजच्या व्हिडिओ लेक्चरमधून आपण बघणार आहे. आजच्या आपल्या डिस्कशनचा पार्ट आहे एनर्जी फॉर्म्स, अँड इन दिस व्हिडिओ लेक्चर वी विल गोइंग टू कवर the CO2, that is the select alternative energy resources for engineering practices. In this video lecture we are also covering the unit outcomes 2D, that is state advantages and disadvantages of forms of energy. म्हणजेच आपण आजच्या व्हिडिओ लेक्चरमधून जे काही एनर्जीचे वेगवेगळे फॉर्म्स आहेत त्याचे ॲडव्हान्टेजेस आणि डिसॲडव्हान्टेजेस पाहणार आहोत. So what we learn in our today's video lecture, we learn objective like least advantages and disadvantages of various energy forms. The content of our today's video lecture, first one is energy forms and their classification. Friends, we know that the energy will be classified into two different types, and first type is nothing but conventional and second one is non-conventional. यालाच आपण रिन्यूएबल अँड नॉन रिन्यूएबल रिस्पेक्टिव्हली म्हणू शकतोय. मग या दोन फॉर्ममध्ये आपल्याला ज्या काही वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारचे एनर्जी फॉर्म्स त्याचे एक्झाम्पल्स पाहायला भेटतात, त्याचे ॲडव्हान्टेजेस काय आणि डिसॲडव्हान्टेजेस काय हे आपल्याला आजच्या व्हिडिओ लेक्चरमधून पाहायचं आहे. सुरुवात करूयात. त्याच्या अगोदर आजच्या व्हिडिओ लेक्चरमधला कन्सेप्ट मॅप जो आहे तो आपण बघूयात. फॉर्म्स ऑफ एनर्जी, इट इज क्लासिफाईड इंटू टू डिफरंट टाइप्स. वन इज कन्व्हेन्शनल और सेकंड वन इज नॉन कन्व्हेन्शनल. Conventional energy resources is also called as renewable and non-conventional energy resources is called as renewable. Now the examples of forms of energy. या डायग्राम मधून तुम्हाला वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारचे ऑब्जेक्ट्स किंवा वेगवेगळे एक्झाम्पल्स दिलेले आहेत ज्याच्यामध्ये तुम्हाला एनर्जीचे वेगवेगळे फॉर्म्स पाहायला भेटतात. There are the two different forms of energies. Conventional, that is non-renewable, nuclear energy. These are the non-renewable forms of energy, and these are the two examples of conventional energy. Now the second type is non-conventional or renewable forms of energy. and the examples like solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy, geothermal energy, biomass energy and hydropower energy. विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, या सगळ्या गोष्टी आपण मागच्या व्हिडिओ लेक्चरमध्ये पाहिलेल्या आहेत. आज आपण काय करणार आहे तर या सगळ्या गोष्टींचे ॲडव्हान्टेज आणि डिसॲडव्हान्टेज आपण पाहणार आहे. याच्यावरतीच आधारित एखादा प्रश्न तुम्हाला परीक्षेला विचारला जाऊ शकतो. नाउ द कन्व्हेन्शनल फॉर्म्स ऑफ एनर्जी. At first, thermal energy. Thermal energy refers to energy contained within a system that is responsible for its temperature. Heat is the flow of thermal energy from high temperature to low temperature. थर्मल एनर्जी जनरेट करण्यासाठी हीट ही अत्यंत महत्त्वाची आहे आणि त्याचा जो फ्लो आहे तो फ्लो हाय टेम्परेचर पासून लो टेम्परेचर पर्यंत आपल्याला पाहायला भेटतो. नाउ कम टू आवर पॉइंट, दॅट इज द ॲडव्हान्टेजेस अँड डिसॲडव्हान्टेजेस ऑफ थर्मल एनर्जी. At first, we will going to see points one by one. In case of thermal energy, the best advantage is it is one of the most abundant energy resources, and disadvantages is source of pollution because it can emit waste, SO2, nitrogen gas, oxide and ash. Second point is it is inexpensive compared to other energy sources, but the disadvantages is physical transportation of this energy is very difficult. Third one is it can lower overall amount of greenhouse gases, that is liquefaction and gasification, but technology to process coal into liquid or gas is not fully developed. Fourth one is it is a leading source of electricity. In case of disadvantages, solids are most difficult to burn than the liquid or gas. Last advantages like byproduct of burning ash can be used for concrete and roadways, and the dirty industry leads to health problem. So these are the different types of advantages and disadvantages of thermal energy. Now we will going to see our next point, that is the nuclear energy. Now again question is arises that nuclear power or nuclear energy is the use of exothermic nuclear process to generate useful heat and electricity. The term included nuclear fission or fusion, decay. All these terms are present on these. See the advantages. Nuclear energy provides clear power with no atmospheric emission. कोणत्याही प्रकारचं ॲटमॉस्फेरिक इमिशन या न्यूक्लिअर एनर्जीपासून होत नाही. In case of disadvantage, it has a potential of high risk. Second point is its fuel can be recycled. म्हणजे न्यूक्लिअर एनर्जीचं जे फ्यूल आहे ते आपण रिसायकल, त्याचा पुनर्वापर करू शकतोय. पण डिसएडव्हान्टेज जर पाहायला गेला तर वेस्ट इज द डिस्पोजल प्रॉब्लेमॅटिक असतो. It gives a low cost power for today's consumption. Earthquake can cause damage and leak at plants. So these are the different types of advantages and disadvantages of nuclear energy. Now the non-conventional forms of energy. The best example is solar energy. Look at the diagram which can be shows the solar power plant. In this power plant we will going to generate
electricity by means of different operations. Solar energy is obtained from the sun by capturing the solar radiation. It can be converted into another form of energy for performing various activities. The conversion of solar energy into thermal energy can be done by using solar collectors. Means solar collectors are used for the interconversion between the different forms of energies. Now come to our point, that is advantages and disadvantages. The best advantage of solar energy is solar energy is clean, noise free, or renewable forms of energy which causes no pollution. Second one is very little maintenance is required to keep solar cell running, as there are no moving parts in it. Third one is in the long run it can be give high return on investment due to amount of free energy solar panel produce. Similarly types, the disadvantages of this solar energy will be present on the second column. You should be read out all these points very carefully. Second one is wind energy. Look at the diagram which can be shows how the electricity will be generated from the wind energy. Winds are caused by the uneven heating of the atmosphere by the sun, the irregularities of the earth's surface and rotation of the earth. The advantages: wind's energy is an inexhaustible source of energy. It is virtually limitless. Energy is generated without polluting environment. This source of energy has a tremendous potential to generate energy. एनर्जी जनरेट करण्याचा याचा जो सोर्स आहे तो ट्रिमेंडस फार मोठ्या प्रमाणावरती आहे. विंड एनर्जी कॅन बी यूज्ड डायरेक्टली ॲज अ मेकॅनिकल एनर्जी. हा खूप महत्त्वाचा पॉईंट आहे. विंड एनर्जी आपण मेकॅनिकल एनर्जी म्हणून reliable as well as steady supply of electricity. So these are the different types of point which will be shown the advantages. Along with them, the disadvantages like noise pollution problem is usually associated with wind. Means transmission cost of electricity is more due to remote location of turbine. So these are the different types of disadvantage. Tidal energy. These are the examples. Tides are the waves caused due to the gravitational pull of the moon and sun. The energy derived from the rise and fall of the sea. Tide is converted electricity at seashore, and the advantages and disadvantages are again included in these boxes. Tidal energy is environment friendly energy and doesn't produce greenhouse gases. Very important advantages. We can predict the rise and fall of tides as the follow cyclic fashion. Efficiency of tidal power is far greater as compared to coal, solar or wind energy. Maintenance costs are low. So these are the different types of advantages. Similarly, look at the disadvantages. Cost of construction of tidal power plant is very high. Similarly, all these points will be included. Geothermal energy is again very important. All these points which will be present in this geothermal energy are also important. You should look at these differentiation points very well. Now the biomass is again means all the material which can comes from the living organism. And the biomass factor, it is an also gives a different advantages and disadvantages for the society. So these are the different types of non-conventional forms of energy. Hydropower energy is also hydroelectricity refers to the conversion of energy forms flowing water into electricity. It is considered a renewable energy source, and because of water cycle it constantly renewed by the sun. Advantages of hydropower energy is hydropower is fed by water, so it's a clean and fuel source. It doesn't pollute the air like power plant that burns fossil fuels. These are the different types of advantages, and disadvantages are also present. You should read all these points. It is very simple to learn. Now the forms of energy. These are the different forms of energies are drivers of today's technology world. So it's a proper use is a global responsibility. Now the points of our today's lecture, we have studied conventional forms of energy with advantages